Okay, what we are doing, and I'll give you a little title here real quick. This is going to be, I call it 5W. It is not really a section in your book because it is throughout your book. So I just call it 5W for word. So this is word problems with systems. Okay, word problems with systems. Okay, that is ugly. I didn't leave room. I should have left room to write it. All right, so we're going to look at this first word problem. And I have mine spaced out so I can write below it. You're going to have to write in your notes. So I would put number 1 in your notes after you do word problems with systems. The first one is real easy. The sum of two numbers is 15. The difference is 1. What are those numbers? Okay, sum means what? Means plus.
Oh, yeah.
Sum just means plus. Difference means what? Here we go. Distance means subtract. And so what we are going to do is we are going to add two numbers. Do we know what those two numbers are? No. And so this is how you do this. X plus Y. Those are two numbers. Equals. Is means equals. So is means equal. X plus Y equals 15. The difference of those two numbers, X instead of plus minus Y equals 1. Okay, now solve. Okay, which way do I want to solve this one? I think I want to solve this one the elimination method because I see an opposite right here. Yes? So it should be real easy just to do this. X plus X, 2X. Y minus Y cancels. Equals 16. So finish getting it solved. I don't think I have any highlighters left. That's bad. Oh, we'll do the best we can. I didn't leave enough room to write big. Then I'm going to go back to one of these. I'm going to go back to this first one. 8 plus Y equals 15. Subtract 8. Subtract 8. Y equals 7. Okay. And so your two numbers are, and you need to put the answer, 8 and 7. And in this instance, order doesn't really matter. Because it's not actually asking X and Y, it's just asking for two numbers. This one is honestly easy enough that some of you could do this in your head without the work. And I know this, I still want you to show me the work. Okay, number 2 is exactly like it. Obviously, it is different numbers. So go ahead and see if you can get that done. And then we'll move on to the next topic. Okay, you finish this. You didn't put any answers. Gotta put answers. Am I doing everything right so far?
Yeah, looks like it.
Without all the words, I had plenty of room to do it this time. Okay. Okay, so my two answers are 5 and 4. Okay. Are these problems going to be like this every single time? Yeah. These problems are basically the level 1 word problems where they're just going to set up all nicely and pretty. And so you have a good example of them now, so when you do your worksheet, you do it just like that. Now we're kind of moving to kind of level 2 problems. Okay, let's see if I can fit this on the screen. Although you should have a little worksheet with you. I need to zoom out a little bit so I can fit it all on the screen. And so I'll just spend some time adjusting. Try to get this straight-ish. I think I need a light. All right, traveling downstream, a certain boat went 13 kilometers an hour. Traveling upstream, it only went 1 kilometer an hour. Find the current and the speed of the boat. Okay. So here is the issue with this one. There's a lot of stuff you might not know. So we're going to kind of go over this. So here's the boat. And here's a person in it. I'll put paddles in it. Make it exciting. Okay, here's the water. Okay. If the water is going in this direction, that is called downstream. This would be upstream. If you're going downstream, you are going to add. If you're going upstream, you're going to subtract. Make sure you have a note of that. You can paddle faster with the water and paddle against the water. Okay, and if you have your phone out, I'm going to call your name on the recording, and it's going to be there forever for the rest of your life. So if I see it again, not only am I going to take your phone and send it to the office, you'll be on the recording. Okay? All right. So moving on, if we know that going downstream is addition, going upstream is going to be a subtraction because we're going against the water. Okay. So let's look at this. Traveling downstream, a certain boat went 13 kilometers an hour. So this is how I'm going to do that. So there's the boat, and I'm going with the water, so I'm going to add the current. I guess we could do the current, so we'll call it C. That's the water. Boat plus current equals 13. Going upstream, I said that's what? Subtraction. So that is going to be what? Boat minus current equals. Is this almost exact same as the problem we did before? The only difference is we're assigning a boat and a current. So let's try to get this one done. Alrighty. I think I got that right. Now I probably need to find out what the current is. Subtract 7, current equals, is that 6? Okay. Do these numbers have to be positive? They're going to have to be positive because real things don't, we're not talking about going backwards or negative distance, are we? These are going to have to be positive because they're real things. And so I need to go ahead and put this in a real perspective. So I'm going to say, for my final answer, 7 kilometers an hour. And then I need to identify what this is. So I'm going to say the boat. And then I'm going to say current is 6 kilometers an hour. Okay? So basically, if you're going upstream in this particular river with this slow boat, you're working really, really hard to go really, really slow, right? But if you're going with it, you get to go faster, or you could not row at all and you probably would just go 6 down the river. All right, let's look at an airplane. Airplane's just like a boat. Okay? It's exactly like a boat except for it says with the wind into the same wind. Which one do you think is faster if you fly with the wind or against the wind? Which is faster? Okay, and you can tell because look, this way is faster and this way is slower. This particular plane is a slow plane. So I'm betting with the wind is going to be plus, and against the wind is going to be minus. Okay, and what I like to do, since it's a plane instead of a boat, I like to do P for plane and W for wind. See if you can get it set up and solved. This yellow marker has a weird effect on this smartboard, doesn't it? It almost looks like this one is outlined. Fortunately, the actual recording is going to be better. It is in it's in high def, and this board is actually very, very like old school TV. I think it's max at 480. Guess I can take that off so you're not distracted by it. Okay, the first 4 so far are basically the same, and there's not very much work at all for them. That's what kind of puts them at level 1 and 2 for word problems. And even though systems is hard, these word problems are about as easy as it gets for word problems. Okay. So, I don't know what did I get 20 from? Oh, that's where I got 20 from, huh? Yep. I subtracted them. Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. I subtracted them because I wasn't paying attention. I'm supposed to add them, aren't I? I should have paid attention. Should be 314. And then when we divide by 2, we are going to get, say it. Is that right? I think it is. Okay, that makes more sense. Because I was fixing to say, there's no way the plane is going 10 miles an hour. Does that make sense? Have you ever seen a plane go 10 miles an hour in the air? You know what happens when a plane goes 10 miles an hour in the air? And they explode and be really, really impressive and cause a huge fire. So, if it's not making sense, stop. And then try to figure out what, because this is a real thing. It has to make sense. Now, this is a slow plane going to 157. Those, that we're talking biplane level of plane. This is not like a jet. But that's still possible. It probably is a fast biplane, honestly, but anyways, let's go ahead and finish this out and do it right. So 157 minus W equals 167. I did. That's plus. I was about to say that's not right. So the wind is going to equal 10. That makes sense. Okay. So let's go ahead and figure out how to write the answer. We're going to write the answer. Plane goes 167 miles per hour. And the wind blows at 10 miles per hour. Okay, that makes sense, right? In Oklahoma, a calm day, the wind blows 10 miles an hour. Okay? So make sure your answer makes sense. What I was going to get, because I was doing it wrong, I was going to get the plane goes 10 miles an hour and the wind was going to be 167 miles an hour. 167 miles an hour is like a tornado or a hurricane, right? Okay? A slow plane should not fly in a hurricane. So make sure it makes sense at the end. All right? Now we're going to go to level 3s, and they don't go above level 3. So if you're worried about them going above level 3, they're not. And level 3s, word problems aren't super duper hard. There's a lot of words, though. Okay? And this is why this is hard to read, and this is why I gave you your own version of this, so you didn't have to read the board. If you're at home, well, there's a PDF you can look at. Okay. Tuasakan, I'm going to say that name wrong, I'm sorry, and Heather are selling fruit for a school fundraiser. Okay, so far that's just information. Customers can buy small boxes of grapefruit and large boxes of grapefruit. Mr. T sold 3 boxes of grapefruit. I see a number. I think this is probably important. And so I'm going to highlight it with my yellow marker. And 4 large boxes of grapefruit for a total of $94. That's probably important. Heather sold 7 small boxes of grapefruit and 4 large boxes of grapefruit for a total of $118. What is the cost of each small box of grapefruit and 1 large box of grapefruit? Well, let me just translate this stuff into a systems. 3 small. 3 small. 4 large. 4 large. Total. Total makes me think of equals $94. Okay, now I'm going to look at Heather. 7 small. 4 large. 118. Okay, does everybody see how I set that up? Did I basically just go in order? And where did I get S from?
Small.
Small. I picked S because small, and it'll help me remember that that means small box. And L is for large. Okay, this looks to me like, even though I say it's a level 3 word problem, it's probably just a level 2 elimination problem, right? Because do you see almost an opposite? 4 and 4, if only I could do this. If only my teacher would have taught me to do this, that probably would make it easier, right? Can we do that? Let's do that, and let's see if we can figure this one out. Okay. Negative 4s. Cancel. 94 minus 118. I think that's going to be what, 24? Negative? Is that right? Something like that? Okay. Divide by negative 4. Okay. What do we get? Is that 6? Can this be a negative number? Can you sell negative boxes of anything? So, double check that, make sure, and that's a check. If I get a negative 6, probably I multiplied or did something wrong. It has to be positive. That's nice about word problems. They have to make sense or they're not right. So 6, what does that 6 stand for? Well, it says, what are the cost of each small box? So I'm going to put, just so I remember, it's $6. Okay, let's figure out what the large is. So if small is 6, this feels a lot like everything else. We just have to translate. And I don't know what large is. 18 plus 4L equals 94. Subtract 18, 4L equals, I'll let you do it, 76. L is going to equal 19. Okay. So basically, I'm not going to make you write small boxes of blah, blah, blah. Just write, for your final answer, just write small box equals $7. And you don't even have to put equals. You can just say small box equals $6. And just write small box $6. Large box $19. That might be how you see it on a price board. Okay, so we're not doing every single problem on this because basically every problem is just like this. So I'm going to skip down so you can see how this next problem is going to be just like this problem, just with different words. Let's skip down to 8. Okay. And so this particular worksheet likes to make me say difficult names, and that's fine. Pranav, and Eugene each improved their yards by planting hostas, and ornamental grass. Okay, if you don't know what one of those is, I don't really know either. It's some kind of flower. They bought their supplies from the same store. Mrs. P spent 21 on one hosta and 3 bunches of ornamental grass. Okay, so I'm going to put that in. That is probably what I need to do. Okay, and I don't really like putting in this order. I can, but that's not how I'm used to seeing my problems. I would rather do this. 1 hostas plus 3, and I put G for grass, because ultimately that's what it is, right? equals $21. Is that what it's saying? Eugene spent 45. So try to do Eugene's. Okay, did I do it right? Okay, so then let's go ahead and do this thing right here. Do I have to use this trick again? Basic. So basically we needed to go ahead and do this. And this is going to be our last problem. And so let's go ahead and do this and see if we can figure out what these flowers cost, because we care so much about these flowers, right? Well, at least we care enough to get this right, because this is even though it had a lot of words, this is probably the easiest word problems I've seen this year, where they just line up so perfect. What is that, negative 24? Okay, and again, this has to be positive because this is money, right? So this is going to be 6, right? Is that right? $6? Okay, so I'm going to go back up here to use this line, $6 plus 3 pallets of bunches of ornamental grass equals 21. Minus 6, 3G equals, well, that's, what is that, 15? So the grass bunches cost 5. So go ahead and write it out. And on the test as well, you're going to have to write out. And I'm not going to make you write all the stuff, but you at least can do hostas. $6. Grass. $5. Okay. Do I have to put the dollar sign? Yeah, because I want to know if it's, number of pallets or how much it cost, right? Because we want to provide information. So this is all the examples I'm going to do on this. So I'm going to shut down the recording and give you your real assignment. So this is a lot of listening.